Anton Yelchin, born March 11th, 1989, and he died on June 19, 2016 from blunt trauma affiliation and was killed when his car rolled backwards down a steep driveway of his Studio City home. Hey Mike, can you help me out with this one? And don't forget to subscribe to Mike's True Crimer page on YouTube.
Hello, True Crimers. It's time for another episode of Deaths in Tinseltown, a subcategory of Murdered in Tinseltown. This handsome devil behind me was named Anton Yelchin. He was born on March 11th, 1989 in Russia. Both of his parents at the time were well-known figure skaters. Anton lived, though, most of his life here in the States because they moved here just after he was 6 months old. He would make his film debut in the year 2000 in a movie called A Man is Mostly Water, but he was most known for his performance as Chekhov in the new Star Trek movies. Perhaps his breakout role was in Charlie Bartlett, a very fantastic movie that also stars Robert Downey Jr. He was also well known for the movie Green Room, and for the remake of Fright Night, which also had Colin Farrell. Yelchin was considered still a rising star. He had roughly, I think, 7 or 8 projects that were actually in the making at the time of this unfortunate event. In 2012, he purchased this home in Studio City, California, for about $945,000. That's a lot. However, very sadly, on June 18th, 2016, I guess you can call it a freak accident happened to Anton. You see, Anton Yelchin drove a 2015 Jeep Cherokee. Just 2 months prior to the incident I'm about to talk about, there were 1.1 million recalls of this particular vehicle, specifically because the gear shift was confusing drivers, and it actually would cause the vehicles to roll on their own unexpectedly. And it led to a whole bunch of injuries, but at that point, no actual deaths. That is until June 18th, 2016. Anton Yelchin had driven his Cherokee up to the front of his driveway, and it's not known why he got out of the vehicle, but the gear shift malfunctioned and the vehicle rolled backwards. And what would happen, unfortunately, was it ran into Anton, and it pinned him against this exact metal gate and the little brick pillar there. He did not die on impact. They believe he was alive for at least a few minutes because his exact cause of death was he suffocated. It essentially had crushed and pinned him, against his lungs and his chest, and he couldn't breathe. He would not be discovered until a little bit later that day when he failed to show up for an audition. A group of friends of his discovered his body. A lawsuit was filed against the Fiat Chrysler company by Anton's parents, and they actually settled to an undisclosed amount of money. He was a really good actor, by the way. He would have had a great career. Sad.
Now, Anton Yelchin is laid to rest at the Hollywood Forever Cemetery with his beautiful statue in front of the pond. The following are pictures from his home in Studio City, the driveway where he was crushed to death. His Jeep parked in the driveway where his Jeep would park. The pillars and the gate that was crushed between the car and him. You can see a little more closely of the way he died.